You have been feeling it in the marrow of your bones, a shift so profound yet so quiet that the world around you hasn't even realized the ground has moved beneath its feet. For years, you walked this earth as a stranger to your own soul. You looked to the left and to the right, seeking validation from people who were never designed to understand your frequency. You asked for permission to exist from a world that was secretly terrified of your light. But that season is over. Something has snapped. A divine cord has been cut. You are starting to trust yourself more now, and because you do, the entire structure of your reality is beginning to tremble. Think about the last 48 hours. Have you noticed that strange, heavy silence that follows you into a room? Have you felt that sudden, sharp pressure behind your eyes when someone tries to lie to you? It's not a headache. It's not stress. It's your discernment finally coming online. You are no longer able to tolerate the small talk, the masks, or the subtle manipulations that used to slide right past you. You are waking up to the fact that your gut instinct wasn't just a feeling, it was a celestial compass that you were taught to ignore. You spent a lifetime being told you were too sensitive, too dramatic, or too much. They called you the black sheep because your light exposed the shadows in their living rooms. And for a long time, you believed them. You doubted your own eyes. You saw the red flags. You felt the coldness in their hearts. You smelled the decay of their intentions. But you stayed. You stayed because you didn't trust the God voice inside of you. You trusted their words over your own vibrations. But look at you now. The fog is lifting. You find yourself sitting in rooms, looking at people you've known for a decade, and realizing you no longer speak the same language. You see the gaps in their logic. You see the emptiness in their pursuit of the matrix. And instead of feeling lonely, you feel a terrifying, beautiful sense of relief. You are finally agreeing with yourself. You are finally siding with the spirit. This new trust isn't a loud, shouting confidence. It's a cold, hard certainty. It's the realization that you would rather stand alone in the truth than sit at a table full of lies. Do you feel the physical weight of this change? Your body is reacting to this internal alignment. Some of you are experiencing a sudden need for isolation. It's as if the energy of other people has become physically heavy, like a leaden cloak you can no longer carry. You find yourself retreating, not out of depression, but out of a sacred necessity to preserve this new fragile frequency of self-trust. You are realizing that your yes has power, but your no has even more. When you trust yourself, you stop explaining yourself. You stop oversharing. You stop trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. The symptoms are everywhere. You might be waking up at 3 a.m. with a clarity that feels like electricity. You might be losing interest in the hobbies, the foods, and the conversations that used to anchor you to the 3D world. This is the shedding of the old skin. You are becoming a person that the old you wouldn't recognize. And the most dangerous thing for the Matrix is a chosen one who has stopped doubting their own intuition. Because once you trust yourself, you become unmanageable. You become unshakable. You become the one who finally holds the keys to the gate. You are standing at the threshold of a new existence, where your internal authority is the only law. The world is noticing. The enemy is noticing. But most importantly, the divine is watching you finally say, I see it, I feel it, and I believe myself. The shift you are experiencing is not a psychological breakthrough, it is a spiritual promotion. For years, you were kept in a state of spiritual static. This was a deliberate interference by the forces of the Matrix to keep you from tuning into your own divine broadcast. You have to understand that in the realm of the spirit, doubt is a frequency, a low vibration fog that clouds the third eye and creates a leak in your energetic field. As long as you were questioning your own reality, you were leaking power. Every time you asked a narcissist for their opinion on your life, or sought approval from a system designed to keep you small, you were effectively handing over your scepter. But the spiritual reason you trust yourself more now is that your DNA is literally responding to a higher light code. The universe has moved you from the training grounds to the throne room. You broke a fundamental rule of the old world, the rule of external reliance. You have finally realized that the kingdom of heaven is not out there or hidden in the approval of a religious leader or a family member. It is within you. The moment you chose to trust your own inner knowing over the external chaos, you moved from a state of being a seeker to being a knower. This transition is why everything feels so high stakes right now. You are vibrating at a level where the laws of the spiritual world apply to you differently. When you were in doubt, you were under the protection of grace for the blind. But now that your eyes are open, the divine is demanding a higher level of accountability. This self-trust is actually an act of obedience to the Creator. By trusting yourself, you are trusting the peace of the divine that lives inside of you. You are finally acknowledging that the still, small voice is not your imagination. It is the direct communication line between the source and your soul. There is an unseen war happening for the real estate of your mind. For decades, ancestral curses and generational patterns of gaslighting have tried to convince you that your discernment was paranoia. But the spiritual cause behind this sudden clarity is a massive energetic upgrade. The veil is thinning, your crown chakra is opening. This is why you can sense a lie before it is even spoken. This is why you feel the vibe of a place the moment you step across the threshold. Your spirit is no longer willing to reside in a body that ignores its warnings. The divine has purposely allowed your old support systems to fail. He allowed those friends to betray you. He allowed those jobs to reject you. And he allowed that family dynamic to collapse. Why? To force you back into yourself. As long as you had someone to lean on, you wouldn't learn how to stand. You are being prepared for a season where external guidance will be useless, because the path you are walking has never been trodden before. You are a pioneer, and a pioneer cannot ask for directions from those who have never left the city gates. This internal trust is the armor of God in a literal, energetic sense. It creates a seal around your aura that the enemy cannot penetrate. When you trust yourself, you become a closed system. You are no longer hungry for the breadcrumbs of validation, and therefore, you cannot be lured into traps. The spiritual cause of your new self-trust is the reclamation of your sovereignty. You have stopped being a victim of the world's frequency and have started becoming a broadcaster of your own. This is the activation of the priest-king archetype within you. You are no longer waiting for a sign, you are the sign. You are no longer looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. You are the light that illuminates the tunnel. This shift is permanent. The old you is dead, and the new you is governed by an internal authority that answers only to the Most High. Observe the people around you very closely right now. Have you noticed a sudden, unprovoked spike in their hostility? Have you seen the way their faces contort with a strange kind of irritation when you simply walk into a room, even if you haven't said a single word? This is not your imagination. This is the matrix reacting to your new level of self-trust. You see, as long as you were doubting yourself, you were food. You were a reliable source of energy for the narcissists, the energy vampires, and the parasitic structures of this world. They could gaslight you, and you would spend hours, days trying to figure out what you did wrong. You were manageable, you were predictable, but now you have become a glitch in their system. When you trust yourself, you become ungaslightable, and nothing terrifies a manipulator more than a person who can no longer be fooled. They are sensing that their hooks are slipping. They are realizing that the old buttons they used to press, guilt, shame, the fear of being alone, no longer trigger the same response in you. You are looking at them with a neutral, piercing clarity, and it makes them feel naked. They aren't just reacting to you, they are reacting to the light of truth that is now radiating from your eyes. Notice the smear campaign starting up. Notice the way they try to provoke you into an emotional reaction. They are desperate to pull you back down into the mud of self-doubt. They need you to explode, to defend yourself, to explain your side. Because as long as you are explaining, you are still seeking their validation. But you aren't doing that anymore, are you? Your silence is becoming their greatest torment. When they throw a barb at you, and you simply blink and go back to your business, they feel a spiritual short circuit. They are losing their power over you, and it feels to them like they are losing their very life force. The enemy is scared of you because you have reached the 0 point. You have reached a place where you would rather lose them than lose your peace. You would rather be the villain in their story than a slave in your own. This makes you dangerous to the hierarchy of the matrix. If you can trust yourself, you might inspire others to do the same. You are a threat to the collective slumber. This is why the agents of the matrix, often those closest to you, will suddenly try to harden their stance. They will call you arrogant or cold. They will say you've changed. They will try to use your past against you to prove that you shouldn't trust your present. But listen to me. Their reaction is the ultimate confirmation that you are on the right path. Their discomfort is your compass. If the people who have spent years draining you are suddenly unhappy with you, it means you are finally doing something right. You are no longer providing the supply they crave. You have replaced your people-pleasing with God-pleasing. You have stopped being a mirror for their shadows and have become a sun that burns them. The enemy's greatest weapon was always your own mind. They used your empathy against you. They used your kindness as a door handle to enter your life and wreck it. But now that you trust yourself, that door is locked from the inside. They are banging on it, screaming, trying to get a rise out of you. But the frequency you are vibrating at is now too high for them to reach. You are standing on a mountain of self-assurance, looking down at the valley of their drama. They can no longer touch you unless you descend to their level. Stay on the mountain. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Their anger is just the sound of a dying ego. Let them react. Let them rage. You just keep trusting the voice that told you to walk away. The truth that the world has tried to hide from you is this. Your self-trust is the fulfillment of an ancient, divine prophecy written into your very cells. You were never meant to be a follower. You were designed to be a conduit for the Logos, the divine reason that governs the stars. When we speak of the chosen one, we are not talking about a title given by man. We are talking about a soul that has survived the fires of the underworld and emerged with a diamond-hard conviction. The theological reality of your life is that you are currently undergoing a divine realignment. You are being moved back into the original blueprint that God intended for you before the world laid its heavy, distorting hands on your spirit. There is a law in the kingdom that states, "To him who has, more will be given." This applies to your internal certainty. As you lean into this new trust, the universe is opening doors that have been bolted shut for generations. You are not just trusting yourself, you are trusting the law of vibration. You have realized that if you stay true to your inner frequency, the external world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match you. This is the secret of the masters. This is how the prophets of old moved mountains. They didn't beg the mountain to move. They stood in such a high state of internal authority that the mountain's existence became incompatible with their presence. The prophecy for your life is one of total restoration. Every year that the locusts ate, every year you spent doubting your worth, every year you spent being gaslit by those who were supposed to love you, is being compressed into a powerhouse of wisdom. You are no longer behind in life. You are exactly where you need to be. The universe used your period of deep doubt as a dark room to develop your spiritual film. Without the darkness, the image of your true self could never have been captured. But now the development process is complete. You are being brought into the light to be seen. The Matrix wants you to believe that the world is chaotic and that you are a victim of chance. But the truth is that your life is a highly choreographed ritual of awakening. Every person you met who tried to break your spirit was actually a sandpaper soul sent to polish you. They thought they were destroying you, but they were actually removing the layers of fake identity that didn't belong to you. They helped you find the inner infallible. This is the part of you that cannot be lied to, cannot be bought, and cannot be broken. It is the Christ consciousness rising within the temple of your body. You are now operating under the law of divine selection. This means that as you trust yourself, The universe is actively filtering your reality. It is removing the dross. It is separating the wheat from the chaff in your social circle. This is why the falling away of people and situations feels so aggressive right now. It is a holy pruning. Do not try to reattach the branches that the Creator is cutting off. They are being removed so that your energy can flow toward your true purpose, the high call. The specific prophecy for this moment is the return of the sovereign. You are reclaiming your throne. You have stopped asking for a seat at the table and realize that you are the architect of the room. This changes everything because it shifts you from a reactive state to a creative state. You no longer react to what the world throws at you. You create the world you wish to see through the power of your unwavering intent. This is the truth. You are a co-creator with the infinite. And the only thing that ever stood between you and your power was the belief that you weren't qualified to lead yourself. That lie is dead. The truth has set you free. And that freedom is the most powerful force in the cosmos. Now that you have seen the symptoms, understood the cause, and witnessed the enemy's defeat, it is time to seal this frequency into your reality. This is the moment of activation. You cannot go back to the person who doubted. You have crossed the Rubicon of the soul, and the bridge behind you has been burned by divine fire. To maintain this new level of self-trust, you must practice the art of holy indifference. When the matrix tries to pull you back into its drama, when the narcissist tries to bait you into a reaction, you must respond with the silence of a mountain. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your evolution. Your only job is to remain grounded in the truth of who you are. Take a deep breath and feel the weight of your own presence. Notice how your feet touch the earth. You are a biological antenna for the divine. And right now, you are grounding a frequency of absolute sovereignty. From this day forward, when your gut speaks, you listen. When your spirit says go, you move. When your heart says no, you stand still. No matter who is yelling, no matter who is crying, and no matter what the world says you should do, you are now governed by an internal law that transcends the opinions of men. I want you to repeat these words in the sanctuary of your mind, or speak them aloud if you are in a space where your voice can command the air. I reclaim my authority. I trust the divine voice within me more than the noise around me. I am no longer a victim of gaslighting, for I see with the eyes of the Spirit. I am a sovereign being, and I am the only captain of my soul. Feel those words vibrate in your chest. That is the sound of your chains hitting the floor. Let us seal this in prayer. Divine Creator, source of all light and truth, we thank you for the awakening of this chosen one. We thank you for the fire that burned away the layers of doubt and the waters that washed away the stains of the world's lies. I ask that you place a hedge of protection around their mind. Sharpen their discernment until it is like a double-edged sword. Let them see through every mask, every lie, and every manipulation with ease. Strengthen their resolve to stand in their truth, even if they stand alone. We decree that every tongue that rises against them in judgment shall be shown to be wrong. We declare that every plan of the enemy to lure them back into self-doubt is frustrated and dismantled right now. May their peace be unshakable. May their path be clear. And may their self-trust be the beacon that leads them into the abundance, the love, and the purpose that was written for them since the beginning of time. It is done. It is sealed. It is so. Chosen one, you have moved from the shadows into the center of your own light. Do not look back. The world you left behind is a graveyard of old versions of you, and you are a being of the resurrection. Walk with your head held high, not out of pride, but out of the quiet realization that you and the Father are one. If you felt this message resonate in the core of your being, if you know that this shift is happening for you right now, then claim it. Type "I trust myself" in the comments to anchor this energy into the physical realm. Subscribe to this frequency and join the remnant of those who are waking up. Your journey has just begun, and for the first time in your life, you are finally the one leading the way. Stay in the light, stay in the power, And above all, stay in your truth.